Hey everyone, and welcome back to our journey through history. Today, we re-diving deep into the story of one of the most influential empires the world has ever seen, the Persian Empire. This isn't just a tale of conquest, it's a story of innovation, tolerance, and a legacy that still shapes our world today. So, grab a seat and let's travel back in time. Our story begins around the Persian Gulf, with a people who would rise from relative obscurity to forge an empire that spanned 3 continents. For a while, they were under the rule of the Median Empire, but that all changed with one man, Cyrus, in 550 BCE. Cyrus, later known as Cyrus the Great, led a successful rebellion against the Medes, and with that, the Achaemenid Persian Empire was born. What made Cyrus so great? It wasn't just his military genius, it was his revolutionary approach to conquest. Instead of ruling with an iron fist, Cyrus practiced a policy of benevolence. When he conquered a new land, like the great city of Babylon, he didn't enslave its people or destroy its temples. Instead, he respected their customs, religions, and traditions. He famously freed the Jewish people from their Babylonian captivity, allowing them to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple. This philosophy is immortalized in a remarkable artifact known as the Cyrus cylinder. This ancient clay cylinder is often hailed as the world's first charter of human rights. It declared an end to slavery, guaranteed freedom of religion, and established racial equality across his vast empire. Imagine that, over 2,500 years ago, Cyrus wasn't just building an empire, he was creating a multicultural society founded on principles of respect and freedom. After Cyrus's death, the empire continued to expand under his successors. But it was Darius the Great who truly perfected its administration. The empire was massive, stretching from the Balkans in Europe to the Indus Valley in India. How do you govern such a diverse and sprawling territory? Darius had the answer. He reorganized the empire into provinces, or satrapies, each governed by a satrap or governor. These satraps had a good deal of autonomy, but they were ultimately answerable to the king. To keep them in check, Darius created a system of spies, known as the king's eyes and ears, who would travel the empire and report back to him. But that's not all. To connect his vast empire, Darius commissioned an incredible feat of engineering, the Royal Road. This highway stretched over 1,500 miles from Susa in Persia to Sardis in modern-day Turkey. Along the road, there were rest stations and fresh horses at regular intervals. This allowed royal couriers to travel the entire length of the road in just 7 to 9 days, a journey that would have taken a normal traveler about 3 months. It was the world's first superhighway and a revolutionary postal system, allowing for rapid communication and trade across the empire. Darius also wanted a capital that would reflect the empire's majesty. He began the construction of Persepolis, a breathtaking ceremonial capital nestled in the mountains. This wasn't a city for everyday living. It was a grand stage for celebrating the new year and receiving tributes from all the subject nations. Intricate carvings on the walls of Persepolis depict people from every corner of the empire, from Ethiopians to Indians to Greeks bringing gifts to the Persian king. It was a visual representation of the empire's unity in diversity. So, what held this multicultural empire together spiritually? A key element was the religion of Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest monotheistic faiths. Humans had free will to choose which side to support, and their choices would determine their fate in the afterlife. Zoroastrianism's concepts of heaven, hell, a final judgment, and a savior figure would have a profound influence on later religions, including Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, of course. The history of the Persian Empire is incomplete without mentioning its most famous conflict, the Greco-Persian Wars. For decades, the mighty Persian Empire clashed with the small, fiercely independent Greek city-states. We all know the legendary tales, the stunning Greek victory at Marathon, the heroic last stand of the 300 Spartans at Thermopylae, and the decisive naval battle of Salamis, while the Persians ultimately failed to conquer Greece. These wars had a massive impact on both civilizations, shaping the course of Western history and creating a narrative of East versus West that has echoed through the centuries. So, what brought this colossal empire to an end? After the reigns of powerful rulers like Cyrus and Darius, the empire began to face internal struggles. A series of weaker kings, court intrigues, and rebellions in various satrapies started to chip away at its foundations. The final blow came from the west, not from a Greek city-state, but from a Macedonian king with an ambition as vast as the Persian Empire itself, Alexander the Great. In 334 BCE, Alexander crossed into Asia Minor with his formidable army. In a series of brilliant and rapid campaigns, he shattered the Persian forces. The final act of this epic drama took place in 330 BCE at the magnificent capital of Persepolis. In an act that is still debated by historians today, Alexander's army burned the grand city to the ground. Whether it was an act of drunken revenge for the burning of Athens a century earlier, or a calculated political move to signal the end of Persian rule, the destruction of Persepolis marked the fall of the Achaemenid dynasty. But the fall of the empire was not the end of its story. The legacy of Persia is immense and enduring. Its model of a centralized administration, with satraps governing provinces, became a blueprint for future empires, including Alexander's own and later the Romans. The royal road and its postal system set a new standard for communication and infrastructure. And perhaps most importantly, the ideas of human rights, religious tolerance, and cultural respect championed by Cyrus the Great introduced a new, more humane model of governance to the ancient world. The Persian Empire was more than just a military powerhouse. It was a crucible of ideas, a hub of culture, and a testament to the possibility of uniting diverse peoples under a banner of tolerance and effective administration. Its influence is woven into the fabric of our modern world in ways we often don't even realize. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of the ancient Persian Empire. I hope you found it as fascinating as I do. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next historical adventure. Let me know in the comments what empire you'd like to see us cover next. Until then, stay curious.